Jahq, Acorn, and Slacks won week 2 of FNCS. They qualified for grand finals, but it wasn't an easy path for them. They struggled at the beginning of round 4, but managed to put together back-to-back wins in the final 2 matches and qualified. An absolute incredible comeback. And now we're going to break it down and tell you guys exactly how they're able to make this comeback, because it was by no means easy, and these guys deserve a ton of praise for hanging in there and clutching up these final 2 wins. Let's start with game number 5. We all know Jahq, Acorn, and Slacks, they land Slurpy Swamp. They've been landing there forever. Now they're going to take a little bit of extra loot from the gas station to the north because Slurpy was destroyed, but these guys doing the same old that they've been doing for seasons. The 5th game wasn't easy for these guys. Look at them in 3rd zone. They're playing edge. They're really shambles material-wise. The loadouts are decent, but the mats aren't there in order to win a game. They were going to have to get a refresh at some point. The first refresh comes on a sneaky rotate in the 4th zone. They're able to follow builds and then find this trio just sitting on the edge, not paying attention to them. They're able to get a nice triple spray and eliminate an opponent quickly, put pressure on, and then follow up, gain that refresh, take advantage of the old builds, and force the opposing duo out of that space. That was by no means a game-winning refresh. A single body, a few mats, and some extra heals and an upgrade in loot. But this trio still needed to pick up some more refreshes in order to be able to win this match. Those will come later when they pull 5th zone and a team rotates nearby. They quickly wipe this entire trio, and this is the refresh that gives them the ability to win this game. They're able to grab all of these loots, basically max out their materials, plus another upgrade in the loot that they had, and these guys are set to take off and win this match. The trio takes a peek at what's going on in high ground in moving zones. They see that they're tarping ahead and can get padded on because they're the perfect height, around 35 to 45 meters. This is going to give you the ability to pad right up onto height and not have any audio cues. So the team on high ground has to see you, otherwise you're just jumping right on them. We can see then Acorn's going to crank for high ground. He's going to successfully take that, and they're going to hold the position from 7th zone moving forward. This is the game-winning play that helps them take this 5th match. After this, they're just going to go on to spray down and hold this game out. But because this trio knew they needed to make some big plays, they had to go for a high ground take, and this is exactly that. Height didn't come for free, as Rise, Threats, and Jamper tried to jump onto high ground using the same strategy. Successfully staved off, Acorn, Jahq, and Slacks go on to win the game. They do lose a player, but the duo is able to go on and hold this high ground position and do what they do best. The duo does what any other high ground team is going to do: spray down, force teams down below, and look for eliminations. These guys don't have a win condition to absolutely and positively take the win until they're able to knock Tabney and secure his chug cannon. From here on out, the combination of a medkit and the chug cannon is going to win them the game. They know that in this meta, in this specific season, you need the chug cannon and enable to win games and succeed in late game. Other trios are going to have them. They might even chain together multiple different chug cannons, so you have to be aware. These guys created the flopper meta, or at least part of it, and now they're knowing how to exactly play the medkit into the chug cannon to get the maximum amount of time alive in the storm. This is very well played by them, and this is the first win. Slacks is going to dip into storm, outheal the opponent, and propel themselves up the leaderboard with this big victory royale, the first of 2. Now, I won't bore you guys with early looting or how they rotate. Let's jump right into 3rd zone and see where they're at compared to last game. In the sixth and final game, these guys are in a much better position than the previous match. They're not going to have to rely on refreshes in order to secure the victory royale. They have it from the start. They have multiple launch pads. They have the chug cannon, plus different heals that are going to be able to put them into a position to win and out-heal other players. Not to mention, they're all 100 plus materials on all three of the players. Zone's going to pull in their favor, and they're just going to have to continue to play this southern side. This is an absolute nightmare of a zone for most players, but when you have as many launch pads as Slacks, Acorn, and Jahq do, they're going to use this perfectly. They're not even going to waste that many builds. Just launch pad, box, launch pad, box, launch pad, take high ground. That is their formula, and it's going to work perfectly. This is what you want to do in the ideal way to get up these mountains. They spend very little materials and wind up being on high ground, putting themselves in a position to win this game, especially with the loadout and the heals that they have. This is really well played. Granted, you need the RNG to have the launch pads, but they already have that, and they're knowing how to use it when it's in their inventory. This time, there's no fight for the high ground. They just pad straight up. It's given up by their opponents in the previous game, and now they secure the high ground position, ready to hold it and win this match. The win's not going to come without some great plays and a constant effort to hold and play the high ground. It's not going to be given to them for free anymore, and especially when it pulls straight down these hills, it's a tough position to be up when players look above you. We're going to see they pad straight down, reestablish the high ground, and then once again put themselves in a position to win. This could have gone really poorly, but they execute it well. Ultimately, they are going to lose Acorn on this rotation down these mountains, but Jahq and Slacks are going to be able to bring this one home. It's not necessary for all three players to be alive, especially when you're on height, and they will see no contests here from this point on. All that needs to be done from this trio is force the players down below into engagements with one another, drain all of their materials, all of their heals, put them in poor positions, and then eventually look to close this out, whether that be via healing or whether it be via eliminations. We see Jahq has very little materials left, so he's gonna go in, look for a play. Doesn't actually secure a ton of materials on that one, but enough to continue to play this high ground. Tragics is their next target. He gets sprayed into a fight with the other player that's left alive. Then it's gonna be a great 2v1. Tragics almost pulls this off, by the way, after he takes down one of the opponents. And then luckily for Jahq and Slacks, they're able to hit the final shot, get the elim here on the Tragics, absolutely clutch up their victory royale and bring this one home, taking home the first place. An incredible comeback. Two very different wins, pulling up and down the mountains that these guys navigate very, very well. An absolutely incredible comeback, and I'm not sure that we've seen something like it before. A very slow start, then popping off there at the end to secure first place in a qualification. Congrats to them, and I am so excited to see what they do in Grand Finals.